Hey everyone, welcome back for another weekly astrology video for the week of February 16th to 22nd. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with our weekly astrology videos. Before we get into it this week, we're coming to the end of Aquarius season. I've got my new computer now, so like I said in my last video, I just ordered a new computer for this week. Fitting because I have Saturn at 28 degrees Aquarius, and we're coming into a solar eclipse this week. That's at 28 degrees Aquarius. So I've just replaced my 13-year-old laptop with a new computer. So I'm going to be able to do some better edited videos now that I can actually put better editing software on my computer. And that allows me to not feel so rushed in my videos because I can record longer because I have more space on my phone. So that's a really great update this week. If you like my videos and want to support this channel, then please subscribe and like this video in order to help me upgrade my production value and be able to get out and do some more kinds of videos with Kenny and stuff. So again, thanks for that. All of you who are returning from old videos, thank you as well. All of my returning subscribers, I appreciate you all. So let's get into it. So our major transits this week, as I mentioned already, we have the solar eclipse in Aquarius, and we have a conjunction of Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries, which I've mentioned a few times in my previous videos, but that's going to be happening this week. So other than that, we have the Sun squaring Uranus, we have Mercury trine Jupiter, we have the new moon on the day of the solar eclipse, of course, and then we have Venus conjunct with the North Node, and then the Sun entering Pisces. So we're going from Aquarius season into Pisces season, and then we have Venus trining Jupiter at the end of the week. So on Monday, February 16th, we have, oh, hey Kenny, what's up buddy? You want to come be in the YouTube video? Come on, you want to say hi to all of your fans and your friends? Hey everybody. Hey, I don't need to speak for him, he can speak for himself, right? Hey Kenny, you come sit with me for the YouTube video. Okay, so let's not get too distracted. So on Monday, February 16th, we have the Sun squaring Uranus, the Sun at 27 degrees Aquarius, and Uranus at 27 degrees Taurus. Then we have the Moon in Aquarius conjunct Mars in Aquarius, and then Mercury trine Jupiter, Mercury in Pisces, trining Jupiter in Cancer, and then the Moon in Aquarius, sextiling Chiron in Aries. Just come closer, come closer, come. Good boy, you sit right there, good boy. Okay, so the Sun-Uranus square is exact at 27 degrees Aquarius Taurus, emphasizing rapid recalibration signatures in the solar focus of the week. Mercury is exact trine to Jupiter later in the day, adds a simultaneous big picture cognition channel, water trine, at 15 degrees Pisces Cancer. The Aquarius moon's conjunction to Mars concentrates the day's lunar emphasis into a sharper, more reactive fixed air signature before the lunar eclipse. So on Tuesday, February 17th, we have the moon in Aquarius squaring Uranus and Taurus, and then we have the new moon and solar eclipse at 7:01 a.m. at 28 degrees of Aquarius. And then Venus is in conjunction with the North Node at 8 degrees Pisces. And then the moon enters Pisces. The lunar sequence is tightly stacked on Tuesday. The moon square Uranus occurs at 27 degrees Aquarius Taurus, immediately before the eclipse lunation at 28 degrees Aquarius. So they're happening within 1 degree of each other. The new moon at 28 degrees of Aquarius is the geocentric conjunction point for the annular solar eclipse, marking a formal lunation reset in late Aquarius. Venus's conjunction with the North Node at 8 degrees Pisces adds a nodal activation in Venus topics within the same day. So Venus topics generally being relationships, pleasures. Venus rules both Libra and Taurus, right? So Taurus is kind of more laid back and likes the finer things. And then Libra is more like artsy and that kind of thing. So that takes us to Wednesday, February 18th. We have the moon conjunct the North Node at 8 degrees Pisces, and then we have the moon conjunct Venus at 9 degrees Pisces, and then the sun enters Pisces, And then we have the moon trining Jupiter, the moon at 15 degrees Pisces and Cancer at 15 degrees Pisces. And then the moon conjunct Mercury at 18 degrees Pisces. So Pisces season begins with the sun's ingress into Pisces at 0 degrees and shifting the solar baseline from fixed air to mutable water themes. The Pisces moon forms a dense cluster of conjunctions. The North Node, Venus, and Mercury, concentrating lunar activity into Pisces degrees during the immediate post-eclipse waxing phase. The moon trining with Jupiter, again Pisces Cancer, provides the week's most supportive major lunar aspects in a water trine, exact at 15 degrees. So Thursday, February 19th, Kenny's back to sit with me again. We have the moon sextiling Uranus at 27 degrees, the moon in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus. Then the moon enters Aries, and then the moon is conjunct with Saturn at 0 degrees Aries, and then the moon conjuncts Neptune at 0 degrees Aries, and then the moon sextiles Pluto, the moon in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, the moon's ingress into Aries begins a cardinal fire lunar chapter in the immediate aftermath of the eclipse, with an almost immediate conjunction sequence to Saturn and Neptune in early Aries. The moon-Saturn conjunction and then the moon-Neptune conjunction bring the Saturn-Neptune area of the chart into the lunar foreground, one day before the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Yeah, that's something I didn't really think about until actually breaking down this week, but the moon is in conjunction with both Saturn and Neptune within the 24 hours of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, which is kind of crazy. So not only do we have that big event, but the moon is involved as well. So in the late evening, the moon is also sextiling Pluto, so Aries Aquarius, adds a hard-edged reformist undertone consistent with Pluto and Aquarius being actively triggered. So Friday, February 20th, this is our Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries. This is the big event that we've been waiting for a number of months. And then we have the moon in Aries squaring Jupiter in Cancer. So again, we've been waiting a long time for this. A lot of astrologers have talked about it by now, so there's a whole bunch of stuff out there about it. But some of the big points are the last time that Saturn and Neptune made this conjunction was thousands of years ago, around 6,000 to 8,000 years ago, basically around the rise of agriculture. But the last time that Saturn and Neptune made a conjunction at all was in Capricorn, the day of the fall of the Berlin Wall. So this is a huge conjunction for Saturn and Neptune. And given the information that has dropped over the last couple of weeks, I'd say it falls in line. I mean, that was all in a lot of Aquarian energy, and Saturn being the traditional ruler of Aquarius, Saturn's had a lot going on this month. Not to mention we have the solar eclipse in Aquarius, so that's also triggering Saturn and Uranus, right? So Saturn and Neptune perfect their conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, an Aries point alignment that is widely flagged as a long wave structural / visionary inflection. The Aries moon square to Jupiter in Cancer at 15 degrees creates a cardinal tension aspect that can inflate lunar signals around expansion versus protection themes by sign. This is the week's highest impact outer planet exactitude and the primary long-range marker within February 16th to 22nd as a week. So Saturday, February 21st, we have the moon in Aries sextiling Mars in Aquarius at 22 degrees respectively, and then the moon in Aries conjuncting Chiron, and the moon entering Taurus. So the moon completes its Aries transit with a sextile to Mars as the final major classical aspect before ingressing into Taurus later that day. So the moon conjuncts Chiron at 23 degrees of Aries, The moon completes its Aries transit with a sextile to Mars in Aquarius as the final major classical aspect before ingressing into Taurus later in the day. The moon conjuncting with Chiron at 23 degrees of Aries is the day's most prominent non-classical lunar contact, occurring within the Aries lunar window before the Taurus ingress. The shift into Taurus by evening moves lunar emphasis into fixed Earth stabilization after 3 days of Pisces to Aries activation. Sunday, February 22nd. The sun in Pisces sextiles the moon in Taurus, and then the moon in Taurus squares Pluto in Aquarius. Mars in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries, and then Venus in Pisces trines Jupiter in Cancer, and then the moon in Taurus sextiles Jupiter in Cancer. Then the moon in Taurus sextiles Venus in Pisces. So there's a lot going on that day, and I find it's funny because I try to read the whole line that I have here for each aspect, and as I read it, I'm slower than if I just try and remember what each sign is in at any given time. Like when I say the sun the sun in Pisces sextiles the moon in Taurus. It's easier for me to just run it off the top of my head if I can remember the signs than it is for me to try and read the lines. So, you know, I like when I get natural and I just start thinking off the top of my head rather than trying to stick to my lines. But the Taurus moon makes an early sun sextile in sun in Pisces, while simultaneously forming a tight square to Pluto in Aquarius at 4 degrees, foregrounding fixed sign friction involving Pluto. Venus trine Jupiter perfects at 15 degrees, Venus Pisces, Jupiter Cancer, a major benefic trine that coincides with later lunar sextiles to Jupiter and Venus from Taurus. These are Earth to water sextiles. Then we have the Mars sextile with Chiron that adds an additional major non-lunar exactitude supporting Aries to Aquarius linkage at 23 degrees. So our week in review, we have the week of February 16th to 22nd, which is structurally defined by 3 major peaks. We have the Sun-Uranus square on February 16th, the Aquarius new moon annular solar eclipse in Aquarius at 28 degrees on February 17th, and Saturn's exact conjunction with Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries on February 20th, followed by a Venus to Jupiter trine on February 22nd. The lunar movement of Aquarius to Pisces to Aries to Taurus tracks the week's progression from fixed air disruption into mutable water clustering, and then cardinal fire activation around the Saturn-Neptune conjunction zone, and finally fixed Earth consolidation. So Venus's nodal conjunction in Pisces on February 17th and the trine to Jupiter on February 22nd bookend the week with a clear Venus signature, while the Sun Pisces ingress on February 18th formally initiates Pisces season between the eclipse and the Saturn-Neptune exactitude. So a really exciting week here between Saturn, Neptune, and that solar eclipse. I'm really looking forward to see how it all turns out. And again, I have Saturn at 28 degrees of Aquarius, so I'm excited to see how that affects me in my personal life. So again, thanks for being here. If you like this content, then please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps out. I'm trying to up my production value so I can do some more content for you guys and make it look prettier. I know my camera is a little dull right now. I'd like to upgrade that, but ultimately I just like to keep putting out some more good content and keep refining these videos to be as good as I can get them to be. So thank you so much for being here. Take care. Have a great week. Sit. Want your ball?